So here I'm in Lima, Peru, talking to my American friend over here. What's your name, buddy?
Seaver.
Seaver. You're from United States, Seaver, right? See? And you're chilling out, traveling in Peru?
Yeah, I'm here with a friend. We came from the Appalachian Mountain Range.
From Appalachians?
Yep. Been living there for a while, integrating in the mountains. And so we came here with the desire to pursue an indigenous lifestyle with the natives here.
Like anthropologists?
Yeah, I guess what would be different between myself and my friend as anthropologists from other anthropologists is we seek to fully integrate and live with these people, possibly for a very long time, an indefinite time. So we want it to be more of a lifestyle rather than just a research.
So basically you're looking to stay for a long time and really get to know these people in Amazon.
Yeah.
And you told me before you've done something similar in the United States, in South Mexico.
Yeah, I've been traveling the United States like off and on for about 7 years, pursuing primitive skills, indigenous stories and lifestyles, both in the Appalachians and further west through Mexico.
You told me you love Madison, Wisconsin as well, did you?
Yeah, I love Madison. It's a hip town. There's good music.
Big reading for Madison. So you're now here in Lima just because you need a dental work, otherwise you're going back to Iquitos?
No, going back we're going to Atalaya, which is due southeast from Peru. You have Lima and you have Cusco. Atalaya is here, so it's like a V.
It's in the Amazon?
Yeah, it's in the southern basin of the Amazon.
And tell me, how was your experience dealing with the tribes? You told me that it's not very easy to contact some of them, and how do we basically attempt to become a member of one?
Yeah, that's definitely the challenge. Well, first of all, the indigenous, the SAA that we're trying to build a relationship with, they don't speak very much Spanish. You know, they speak very little. So when they're like, well, we speak little Spanish, like, well, so do I. Perfect. But the way they speak their indigenous tongue, so it's very difficult to communicate with them directly. So our strategy has been to make contact and integrate with tribes that are on the edge of the trade routes, and have direct contact with the local ports, and also because of that they speak Spanish and they also speak their local tongue. So our strategy is to get in with them and build a relationship with them, and then use that relationship to gain contact
with the further tribes that are not
further into the jungle. Because otherwise, when you're just going into the jungle, it's really difficult to communicate and meet these tribes and tell them what you're doing, and then be receptive or even understand you.
So in Peru, they do have a status of sovereign nations, right? Like natives in the United States.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. So we've been working along Rio Tambobata, which is a Madre de Dios, which is along the border of Brazil, Peru, and Bolivia. And there's an organization there called Finamidad, and that you have to go through them to get papers to go into that province and have contact with the tribes.
And a lot of people know one of the knowledges that these primitive tribes have is a knowledge about ayahuasca. So did you try any ayahuasca? Did you have contact with that?
Yeah, my friend and I...
Can you tell us just a little bit, what is ayahuasca basically, for people who don't know?
Ayahuasca is a plant medicine that the shamans, the indigenous, use to access information that they would, in their normal state of mind, not have access to.
In a normal state of mind. Okay. How does it look like? Is it a tea? Is it a...
There's two parts. There's the ayahuasca, and it's a root, and there's a separate plant. They take the leaves and they mash it all up and they cook it.
So they cook it?
Yeah, for several hours.
It becomes like a liquid.
Yeah, the very dark liquid, like a syrup almost.
So in order to do ayahuasca, you have to have a shaman for that, right?
Well, that's debatable. Traditionally, yes. You usually have to have a medium, somebody that takes you on that journey. But you know, you can really do whatever you want, but if you want to respect the tradition and respect the people and the culture that it comes from, then yes.
But I heard there are a lot of fake shamans. It became kind of business. So.
There are a lot of bullshit shamans for sure. They
So how do you find the real one?
For me, it's been word of mouth, and that's I didn't come to Peru to even think about it. I didn't even think about doing ayahuasca.
So it was not your plan originally.
No. So I found this shaman through word of mouth after being here for 3 months and getting to know the locals and the natives here. And so yeah, it kind of found me in a lot of ways.
So I kind of found it. So where was that in?
That was in Infierno.
Infierno.
The shaman's name is Don Ignacio.
So once you find a shaman, how many times you done ayahuasca?
4 times.
4 times. So how does it look like? Do you need to prepare yourself for that?
Yeah, well, there's a process in which the shaman asks you to do a dieta or a fast of some sorts, and it varies per shaman.
So after you do the dieta, you said no sex, no food, no sugar, no salt, and you eat only papaya. Why is that important? Like why is dieta important for them?
That kind of varies per shaman, but the mindset is that you make a sacrifice for the plant. The plant is giving you lots of wisdom, lots of knowledge, and it's an energy exchange. So for those 10 days, you are sacrificing pleasures of your senses. You know, your taste, your touch, and fasts are very like mentally, psychologically, emotionally draining as well. So it's a cleanse in a lot of ways.
Alright, so that was a preparation. So did you prepare yourself for all 4 times, or?
No. The first time I did not, and the first time I did it with a Shipibo shaman, and he was not a good shaman.
He was not a good shaman?
No, he was. No.
So tell me about that first time experience. Like, how did it look like?
Yeah.
What did you feel?
That time ayahuasca kind of found me as well, and I was talking with that shaman, and he did not care about the dieta. So I did not prepare for that one at all. And we met up at night, because it's usually done at night. We met up and we sat in a dark room, and he just told, he's like, we sit up straight, you know, when you puke, don't lay over, or you can pinch your intestines. Just kind of told us the basics, and then he gave us the ayahuasca and started chanting.
When you puke, he said.
Yeah, you have to keep your spine straight. Otherwise, because you get very sick and very nauseous and you want to lay down, but when you lay down and you have your bowl to puke in and you twist like this just to puke, you can pinch your intestine.
So they give you a bowl to puke?
Yeah, they always give you a bowl and a bucket. Yeah.
Okay. It's that intense?
Yeah, it's really intense. I mean, that experience, the ayahuasca came on within probably 20 minutes for me, and like came on very, very strongly. And then 20 minutes I was puking. Within an hour I was shitting. Like, it was really intense, a real detox. But when the trip and journey started to come with that shaman, I could feel like this energy it almost felt like if somebody was physically like trying to strangle me. Like I could feel it all over my body, like it felt like actual physical choke and like constricting like a snake. That was actually really kind of intense, but I just kind of breathed through it. And just, it's kind of like when I've tried other psychedelics, I have the mindset that this too shall pass. So not to freak out, you know, but just kind of let it come and go. But that journey was very visceral for me. It was, I couldn't really move around. It got to the point where I was like completely out of my body in a way, but also very visceral inside.
Is it like an astral journey, or when people
yes,
talk about?
in a way it is. This time was. I did have those moments where I felt like I was looking at myself.
So you could see your body. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, that journey in a lot of ways was really dark for me. I felt like several times like I was actually dying.
Really?
Yeah, and the experience of death was really intense for me. And then through that journey, I felt like I was like a red blood cell that had a short lifespan and was experiencing life as I knew it, and then death as I did not know it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that last how long?
That trip lasted me probably 6 hours at least.
6 hours? And that was the only time when you lasted, when you didn't know of yourself, basically.
Yeah.
So you said you tried the other psychedelics. Now I was reading about ayahuasca, some things, and everybody says it's not a drug. Would you say it is, or it's not, or is it different than any other one?
The definition of drug always kind of gets me. I consider it a medicine, and it has a lot to show me. So it's the way I look at it. Plants in their natural form, when they're used and cooked as a medicine, they're more. It's like a relationship with that plant, you know. So to me, ayahuasca, as much as a drug, as much as it is a drug as it is a friend would be. You know? So it's an exchange of knowledge, an exchange of relationship. But yes, with ayahuasca, I couldn't really. My cognitive skills were all whack. I didn't really want to move. I felt very heavy. When I tried to lift my hand, I would just look at my hand and then it would just fall. And you know, so it's a very low active experience.
But that was only first time, right? The other 3 times it was.
The other 3 times I was more conscious, and they only lasted probably 20 to 30 minutes. But that was with the dieta, and with the dieta, with the combination of the fasting and the cleansing of my body, like both physically and mentally and spiritually, it almost felt like I was on this prolonged ayahuasca experience over the 2 weeks that I had taken it. I would have ayahuasca experience without drinking ayahuasca, you know, for a few days. Just kind of come back.
Okay. So you said you tried the other hallucinogens, and you told me about the one in New Mexico that you tried. What was that one? What was the name? San
Pedro or Wachuma.
So how is it different from ayahuasca? What did you feel that time?
In some ways it's the same, in some ways it's very different. As far as my bodily functions go, I was able to be very active. I could walk around, I could have a conversation.
No
with
bucket,
somebody.
no puking?
No, not for me. There were some people that were puking, but it's not part of it. That's not very normal.
Okay. So when let's get back to ayahuasca one more time. Would you recommend anybody to do it for fun?
No, I think me personally, no.
So it's not a recreational drug like a weed or something like that. or I don't know, ecstasy to have a good day?
No, I'd be really surprised if somebody was telling me that they loved ayahuasca just for fun.
Because from everything you told me, I mean, you're puking, you're shitting,
Yeah.
It's not. How did it benefited you?
For me, it helped reveal a lot about myself in the sense of all the cultural conditioning that I've had throughout my life, the story and the narrative that I created about myself and told to others. It really put that in front of me and challenged that.
Really? Mm-hmm. So it kind of puts all your fears in front of you and...
Yeah, it takes all of your insecurities and it just throws them at you.
And it's not pleasant to see that, is it?
No, it's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult, but it does it sometimes in a very harsh way, as if a friend was just slapping you in the face, or sometimes it does it in a very soft, manner. Not fun.
That's fun.
But
so on one side you're going through the bad physical experience, you're puking, you're in pain, but you say it's root of that. It benefits you in the end.
Yeah, I think if you're wanting to really understand why you do the things that you do, why you act and respond to the world the way you do, I would say it's a very powerful tool to see that from a different perspective. It's kind of like you get taken out of your body and then you look at yourself from not yourself's perspective. You look at it from like a bird's eye perspective and so a lot of the things that you do don't make sense. Like if your mind won't shut up and it keeps running, that can cause a lot of anxiety. Like when I take ayahuasca, I notice the natural things I do throughout the day, like maybe clench my teeth or kind of twitch or fidget. It takes that and I get really uncomfortable. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why can't I just be natural? Why do I have to be tense? Why am I being tense? Why do I choose these things? So it really puts all that on the table.
I see. And do you know about the other people's experiences? You told me you had a friend that really didn't have a lot of good experience with ayahuasca.
Yeah, I had a friend that did it with me, and not like with me, but she was on another mat beside me, and she was telling me she had a really hard time to stop thinking, and it caused a lot of anxiety, and a lot of like the preconceived ideas on how ayahuasca would affect her or how she wanted it to affect her came into play and really messed up her journey. And she wanted to purge and wanted to puke, but it would not come up, and so she got very anxious about it. But as well brought all of her insecurities, how she thinks, how she handles life, how she wants to see herself, but how she's not. It took all that and just bombarded it on her, and she actually was pretty suicidal. She pissed her mats and had a very, very difficult journey.
Very difficult journey.
For several days even after that, she was just like, I'm not going to do this again for a long time, if ever. I have to work through this for a very long time.
I see. So it's not fun for everybody. So tell me about your plans. You're, as you said, trying to get deep into the jungle, to the tribes that don't really have a contact with people. In process of doing that, can it be dangerous? I know you had some stories about people being killed by the arrows and...
Yeah, it can be dangerous, for sure. While we were in the province of Madre de Dios, off of Rio Piedras, that week there was 2 people that were shot and found dead by arrows in the river.
By natives?
By an uncontacted tribe.
Uncontacted tribe?
Yeah, so there's nothing they can do about it. They're just in the jungle, so, and they don't speak any language that the authorities could speak to find out. It's kind of a cold end, it's just like, that's it, okay, yeah.
But you're ready to take a chance?
Yeah, we're trying to be, you know, wise about it, you know, in the sense of we're not just wanting to follow this romantic story of finding the indigenous. We really want to integrate with them, learn from them, and also offer, you know, our experience, you know, in the sense of we come from the future, in the sense of as being political activists. The indigenous in the Amazon are having a very difficult time with illegal logging, illegal mining, missionaries, the pollution, mercury in their water, the erosion from the mining in their water that's killing their fish and destroying their way of life. So it makes sense that they shoot anybody that they see that is a foreigner, because to them a foreigner is doing this, you know. So as having a background of political activists, we see it's important to have effective ways of fighting these corporations and institutions and illegal activities. The indigenous, really, they don't know what illegal logging and mining really has, or how it has an impact. So they only find out later, after their water's polluted, you know, and then they just react and just start killing people. And so we believe there is a more effective way to make it not worth it for there to be mining or logging. So there's different ways we want to incorporate what we know. Coming from civilization, we know what impact the corporations have, illegal logging, illegal mining. We know what that really does to the environment.
So if it happens that you find a tribe that is willing to take you, and you're planning to stay there for indefinite time, maybe for good?
If it is a positive relationship, yeah.
And you wouldn't be sorry about civilization?
No, I mean, I feel like I have a lot of grief and pain and sadness in the sense of leaving my homeland and feeling like it isn't a hospitable place for me to do what I long to do and what I desire to do. So it's difficult to not have contact with my family, with the mountain range. That really speaks to me. If I had it my way, I'd be indigenous there. But I found that very difficult in the United States.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, thank you for this conversation and good luck to you. I hope you really get to fulfill whatever your goal is and find this tribe. And I hope things work out for you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.